All right, everybody. Welcome back into the Auburn Live Modcast. Appreciate you, everybody, for joining us. I'm Justin Hokanson. With me, as always, is Jeffrey Lee. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I'm always here. We can't say the same about Cole, can we?
Cole's missing today, but we'll make it. We'll make it through. All right, real quick, shout out to Session, sponsor of the show. Go check them out downtown Auburn, right there on Magnolia. Great place to go have a drink before or after games. If you live in Auburn or if you're in town, go on Tuesday nights. They do trivia. They do bingo on Wednesday night. So they do a lot of cool stuff like that. Go check them out. By the way, if you're watching the show, we're going to do a happy hour show on Fridays before games from Session from like 4 to 5. So if you're around on Friday and you're ready to leave work or, whatever, pop on and we're just going to, hop on. The bar will be in the background and we'll just talk about the game a little bit. Zach will be on there and we'll take questions and all that good stuff for like an hour or something on Fridays. And so we appreciate their partnership with Auburn Live a bunch. So go check them out when you're in town.
And Justin, while you're at Session, you can keep track of your prize picks.
Hey.
If y'all don't know what PrizePicks is, you're missing out, man. PrizePicks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's so easy, too. That's why I like it because, I'm a simple kind of guy. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players and pros and sharks. You can just pick more or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in, which is something I have done. It's very easy. Like I said, it's got quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types is what makes PrizePicks #1 fantasy sports app. This week, once again, though, Auburn's going to have to get into the SEC, I believe, before we start seeing some Auburn stat lines, projections, I should say. This week, I'm looking at. Listen, I've had a bunch of wins off of Colorado. Shedeur Sanders this week, though, is going to be a little bit harder. Colorado State, and Colorado State has been talking smack. If you haven't seen, they're talking about let's see how their Twitter likes match up against our defense. But Shedeur is his projection is 311.5 passing yards. I think they're going to turn him as loose. Travis Hunter, 97.5 receiving yards. I think I'm going to be keeping an eye on Georgia, Kentucky. Carson Beck, 212.5 passing yards. Do you want to go more or less on him? I think LSU has got South Carolina this weekend. Kyron Lacey, 73.5 receiving yards. Quinn Ewers. So a lot of good SEC and some national matchups in here. Go check out PrizePicks. Go download the app. Go to prizepicks.com/Auburn Live and use the promo code Auburn Live. You'll receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. Again, go to prizepicks.com/Auburn Live. Use that Auburn Live promo code, all one word, all caps. I don't think all caps matters, but it is all one words to receive $50 guaranteed. That just give you $50 once you play $5 in lineups.
Man, I'm about giving up on trying to predict. I'm just not even going to do it. I'm not even going to give a hypothetical for any Auburn players because hell if I know.
Okay, well, this is a good question. Is Auburn going to run football, or are they going to continue working on the passing game?
I have no clue. I have no idea.
It almost seems pointless to do so against New Mexico because you know what you should be able to do. I think Zach said the line is Auburn -28, so 4 touchdowns, 60.5.
I'd go under that, by the way. I mean, I don't think Auburn covers.
You take the points?
Yeah, I'm taking New Mexico on the points.
I don't even know what is their mascot? I have no idea.
The Lobos. It's that wolf.
Not to be confused with the New Mexico State Aztecs. I don't even know if they're the Aztecs. What are these?
The Ackies.
Oh, so okay. I'm going to make an argument and make a case for Auburn primarily running the football and primarily passing the football. Run the football. You need to. You haven't done it. You haven't focused primarily on running the football. It seems to be that's what you do best. Cole said it in a couple of stories. They went back to it, had success doing it. But running the football is not your Achilles heel right now. It's passing the football. Now, I could also make a case for, we know what you can do against lesser defenses. We saw them do it against Alabama and A&M. What's New Mexico going to provide you that Alabama A&M did not. Well, maybe if you do it with another quarterback. And I know that's what all the odds are going to be on who's going to play. I mean, we all agree Peyton Thorne's going to start, right?
Yeah.
Going to start. But at some point, maybe Auburn gets up 14, 21 points. You got to put in Hank Brown. Do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I think he needs to play. Yeah. I mean, I think at this point he needs drives with the first team offense. Yeah, I think he needs it. I think you got to. But I think you got to. Somebody asked on our board literally a few minutes ago. Drive 1, Peyton, Hank Brown. Drive 2. No, please, please. I can't see the drive. If you're going to do it to me, you start Peyton. If he's your guy, he's your guy. You start him.
Yes.
And give him 3 drives. If there's you got to give him, if there's rhythm and he plays well, and Auburn's got 17 points on the board. Cool. I'm cool with putting Hank in drive 4, even if Peyton's playing well. If it doesn't go well the first, let's say 3 drives, if there's not rhythm and there's a hangover from Peyton and even the offense and whatever, then I think you definitely go to Hank. But I'm cool with giving Peyton 3 drives no matter what happens. If it's bad, go to Hank. If it's good, go to Hank. And then kind of go from there. I don't want to see drive to drive flipping. Peyton's your guy. Get Hank some drives in the first half, 1 or 2 with the offense. Obviously, the game dictates it. Things could change. But yeah, I think Hank needs first team reps and needs a drive or 2 in the first half.
I'm with you on that. I do not want to see rotating quarterbacks. I cannot remember a time that it has ever succeeded. Can you tell me? Like, we've seen it tried. I can't remember. I'm trying to go back to, like, was it Tebow and
Chris Leak?
Chris Leak?
But even then, Tebow was situational. Literally the only time
right.
I can remember in my life, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but like I remember in the 90s, there was a time where Spurrier did it in the mid 90s, and he had Doug Johnson, he had Jesse Palmer, and like after Warfel left, there was a time where they had a couple good ones, and both those guys would play. But that felt like unique. I mean, Florida had such a unique offense, and like there was times where both those guys would play, and they would still score points in the same game. You'd see sometimes different quarterbacks, and it kind of worked then. But man, Zach says Cardell Jones and JT Barrett, but it's rare. The point is, you got to think hard, and it's rare. The same way Hugh Freeze says, traditionally, if a player that practices the best needs to start, like that's the guy that I need to go with. If that's what he leans on there, then you also got to lean on rotating quarterbacks by series is not traditionally, there's just not data that supports doing that. So that can't do it.
Here's what I want Auburn to do Saturday. I want them to do whatever they need to do to figure out who's going to be the starter against Arkansas. Yeah. Who's going to be the starter moving forward? Are you going to stick with Peyton Thorne? Or are you going to switch to Henry? Because if you are, then you need to get him lots of reps with the ones, just like you said, a lot of game reps with the ones. So I think that needs to be the number one priority moving forward is we need to find out on Saturday who is it going to be. I didn't think we would be in this situation this early in the season. I didn't think we'd be in this situation after the Alabama A&M game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's surprising. It was surprising. I think that game was very, very, very surprising. And to Hugh Freeze, like what Hugh Freeze said in public, I'll give Hugh Freeze credit. What he says in public, he believes it. Now, I'm not saying everything he says. There's times where I thought maybe he was a little bit too one-sided on Peyton. I'm like, man, a lot of guys made mistakes, and Peyton's the only name that got mentioned over and over again. I thought, hey, maybe toss out a few other names because I saw a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But he truly believes they called a great game and that if they would just execute, it was there. Like, he didn't say anything in public that he doesn't believe behind closed doors. Like, and so I'll give him credit there for being, I don't think he's saying something here and then behind the scenes saying something different. I think he's telling you exactly how he feels. That's for sure.
And I know the Aaron Murray breakdown of Peyton Thorne from Saturday's game. Did you watch that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that backed up Hugh Freeze's comments. I thought he was showing you all the guys that were open, all the reads that Peyton Thorne missed, all the bad throws, the timing that he was off. He should have been throwing the ball right now, and he's open. You got to throw the guy open, and he waited till he got open, and then it was picked, or he was getting hit from the side. He was waiting too long. And when Hugh Freeze said that, I thought, uh, yeah, I mean, from what I saw, and even Cole's breakdown was kind of confirmed that there were plays there. The plays were there. I just didn't think the play was there. The execution was not there. So, you could probably argue whether or not you want your coach saying that, but as far as validity, it looked pretty damn valid to me.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really informative.
Yes,
and fair. I thought what Aaron Murray showed was pretty fair. I didn't, is Aaron Murray in the huddle? Does he know
right.
exactly? The one thing we don't know, we can watch all the plays. The one thing we don't know is what's being coached in the film room during the week on how, if it's this way, how should you do? Where should you do? For instance, I made the point on the board. Hey, is Peyton told?
I thought this was a great point.
If Cam's 1-on-1, we want the ball to go to Cam. My understanding is that has been hammered into Peyton Thorne's head. If Cam's 1-on-1, we would really like the ball to go there and him to get that shot. So if that's true, and that's not a bad thing, Cam's really talented. But if that's true, then that back shoulder throw that got picked late in the game, the ball absolutely should have gone to Keandre Lambert-Smith, on the post. That was the right. And so Peyton should have gone there. But at the same time, you could make an argument. He's been hammered to go to Cam 1-on-1, and he did.
Yep.
So I see both sides. It's one of those things where maybe Peyton should have said, I know what I'm told, but that's just not going to be there. I need to switch my eyes, whatever. That's just an example of things that we don't know behind the scenes on what's being coached and what goes in. I thought Aaron Murray's breakdown was fair. I thought Peyton needs to play better. Zero argument with that at all. My sort of message to people, and it's better that I say it here, maybe that's hard on the board, has just been, it can be a number of things. It can be Peyton needs to play better. It can also be, I'm telling you, I watched the film with somebody that knows the game and knows exactly what they're trying to do. And I'm telling you, the number of pass protection issues, basic stuff, not picking a guy up, not coming down. I'm telling you, there was a lot of them. And it can be both. Saying that doesn't mean Peyton also doesn't need to play better. And so it's just I just think that's why I try to there was blame all the way around in that first game.
Absolutely.
Peyton needs to play better. Pass protection sucked, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Valdo needs to play better. I mean, bunch of mistakes from him. So
that offensive line got worked.
And it goes back to Cole saying, run the ball. They are better at running the ball. And that's the challenge. Hugh Freeze's approach is we need to be balanced, but he wants to take what the defense gives you. So in a way, you let the defense kind of dictate what you do, but in a way, you should kind of always be right. If it's an RPO, the defense can only do one thing. So you kind of should always be right offensively, but they need to lean on the run, maybe even forget what the defense does sometimes. Sometimes I think you need to do what's good for you. And if you're letting if the defense were to dictate to you that you run something and you're going, well, all right, here's what we should run based on the defense, but we're not great at that. Well, then you got a decision to make. Am I going to run something that we're not great at, but the defense is saying we should do it? Or do I need to lean on something that we're better at, even if that's not necessarily what the defense has given me? And I feel like that's where the sort of the dilemma that Freeze is in.
Talking about the run game, man, let me throw this hot take out there. Jarquez Hunter is a very good running back. He's not a great running back. He's not a Kenny Irons. He's not a Trey Mason. He's a very good running back. He's not great. I don't think he's great. I don't think Auburn has a great running back on their roster right now. That's why I would rather see. I want to see Jeremiah Cobb. I want to see him a little bit more. I think Damari and Jarquez Hunter are very good running backs. I don't think they have the. When's the last time we saw a breakaway run on a consistent basis. Am I wrong here, Hope? Am I wrong here?
No, I mean,
when Kenny Irons or Trey Mason or carry on. I'm going back. Who's even Tank?
yeah, dang, yeah.
Tank to a lesser degree. He had a chance to score. They had a chance to make big plays. I don't have that same feeling with Jarquez. I don't have that same feeling with Damari. I don't think, oh man, they're just one touch from breaking it. But now you're talking chunk yardage, absolutely. 8, 12, maybe break off a 15-yarder. I don't know, man. I just need to get that off my chest.
I think it's fair. I think Jarquez's strength is breaking tackles. There's times where maybe he overruns the hole, or there's times where I feel like he,
a lot of mental mistakes, pass protection.
That's the other thing. Jarquez is good at breaking tackles. I think Damari Alston, and I think Cole thinks the same way, and it kind of sounds like you're even saying it. Damari Alston needs more playing time, in my opinion. Damari Alston is the best route runner of the three. He's the best pass blocker of the three, and he's a good running back. Like, to Damari, and then Jeremiah is really fast.
Completely agree.
The speed sweep, Jeremiah should have almost scored on that play. He overran the hole completely and ran into traffic. There absolutely was a hole, and there was a bunch of plays like that you blame Peyton, and you're like, well, if Jeremiah cuts up, that's a touchdown. If Kayin Lee picks a 6, whatever. But yeah, Jeremiah's fast, but Damari does a lot of good things, and barely gets in the game.
I completely agree.
I'll give you a perfect example. Anybody wants to go back and watch the film, I think it might have been on Auburn's touchdown drive because they were down there near the end zone. And so I'm pretty sure that they ended up scoring. But there was a play where Peyton Thorne drops back. He ends up being pressured, and he kind of rolls right, and he throws it away. On that play, go watch Jarquez Hunter. He motions out of the backfield, and he goes and lines up on the far left, one-on-one on a linebacker. It's exactly what Auburn wanted. That was the first read. Jarquez Hunter, if you watch that route, is supposed to run a slant and go. You love that. Running back on a linebacker, one-on-one. Problem is that should have been Damari. Like, if you're going to run that play,
sure,
why didn't they insert Damari, the best route runner? Instead, they run it with Jarquez. Go watch the route Jarquez runs.
Really?
It's horrendous. It's a terrible slant and go. He never gets open, and then nobody else is open, and Peyton has to throw it away. And it's just another example of that's where it should have gone. They had what they wanted, but it'd be like calling a play for a deep route to not Cam Coleman. And you're like, wait, why didn't we call the play why didn't we have the best route runner in to run that? Why did we call that to the guy who's not the best route runner? And it showed, and it resulted in a throwaway. There's just stuff like that all over the place, but I wish Damari would play more.
I do too. I liked it even when he got the carries. He might be an all-around better back, a better all-around back when it comes to pass pro, catching the football, running routes, finding holes. Jarquez might have the better tackle breaking skills, but I don't know if Damari is not your best all-around back.
Yeah, I think an argument can be made. I don't know. It seems like circumstances always dictate who's in there and how many plays. Obviously, when you turn it over, you mentioned that a bunch last week. Hey, it's hard to get plays because we kept turning it over, but that's also not an excuse because you're turning it over. Like, it's still on you. And he's talking about we didn't have enough plays and we needed more drives. You're looking at receivers, right? Malcolm barely played, and Perry barely played, and Sam Jackson barely played. Like, that's baffling to me. But you only have 57 plays. I get that, but boy, it feels like if you're sort of trying to find stuff, man, Sam Jackson is a fantastic athlete.
Where the hell was he?
Just pick a play that he's good at and give him the ball. He is a great athlete. The guy played quarterback in Power 5, and now he's playing receiver in the SEC. He is a good athlete. Malcolm is a good athlete. Perry's a crazy good athlete. Can just pick a play, put them in, and let them have their one play or something, get them the ball. I don't like just all three of those guys just not even being involved at all. But again, he would go, well, we only had 57 plays in the game. I don't know, man. There's a lot of downfield stuff and not a lot of get the ball in my athlete's hands.
Yes.
You know, if you're struggling to protect, then get it out.
Well, my one thing after that game was, where was the short game? Where was the intermediate game? And we just didn't see a lot of it. It was like, it was either chunk plays or negative yardage because of sacks, trying to go deep. I don't know. I said it again. I think I said it Sunday night. It looked like Auburn was trying to do what they did at Alabama A&M, and they were like, well, I mean, I don't know what's happening. It worked last week.
Yeah. And I think Cole's made the point. And I think I agree with it. I mean, based on what we've seen, is Hugh is just trying so hard to be aggressive and to play this sort of style he wants to play. And,
may not be there.
May not be there, you know, and
good point.
Slow it down and build the foundation off the run, and then go RPO off of that, and stay ahead of the chains on first down a little bit more often. I mean, the first half, I was watching it all half. They were averaging like 3 yards on first down. Their average third down was 7+ yards. Cal's average third down was like 3-something yards. That's why they were converting everything. And Auburn was Auburn was behind the chains and then facing these third downs that they couldn't convert. So I don't know what I want to see Saturday. I mean, I guess a lot of stuff. Like, you want to see running the ball. You want to see much better pass protection. You want to see a lot less pressure on the quarterback. And then you're just obviously watching Peyton Thorne early. Obviously, you're watching, you know, is he accurate, and is he hitting the right guys? And then you're curious to see if Hank goes in there. But again, it's kind of like Alabama A&M. New Mexico, their defense is not good. There's zero reason Auburn shouldn't come out here and score 45 points. But their offense is capable. And that it's a little bit people kind of laughed at Hugh Freeze saying this is a scary game or a scary team. Given where Auburn is right now, he's not lying. Like, they're good enough on offense the quarterback's a good enough athlete to make some plays, and you're like, oh my God, he scrambled, he made a play. Kind of like Cal just made a bunch of plays. Give them credit. Like, they made tough catches. They made plays. New Mexico's good enough to make plays and score 21 points or something. And if you're not clicking, next thing you know, you look up and it's 28 to, you know, I don't know, like it's 28-21 or something. And you're like, why is this a close game or something like that? Like, they're good enough on offense that if Auburn is still in hangover mode and they hang around and your offense is going, damn, here we go again. Like, why can't we get, that's what you don't want, is some early issues on offense, and they start going and they have a hangover and go, dang, we can't, like, what are we doing? Why can we not? And New Mexico's over there going, oh, we can beat these guys. We can hang in here.
Yep.
Don't want.
I wonder if have you seen the injury report? I'm not expecting Cam Coleman to play. Sprained shoulder, maybe.
Yeah, he was in, and we'll get, for those who don't know, SEC started doing injury reports only for SEC versus SEC games. So next week will be our first official check online. Sorry, and get like an availability report. But yeah, Cam was in a green jersey on Tuesday. Freeze said he wants to play. You know, maybe head, like, he was blocking and stuff, but I think his issue is, can he bring his arm over the head and catch and not have pain? So he's probably iffy. Xavion Miller was in a blue jersey, but it sure sounded all week like he wasn't going to play. I mean, coaches and players kept talking about shuffling the O-line. So it sounded like they were fully preparing to move Dylan Wade to tackle, and then maybe Tate Johnson at a guard, and then Jeremiah Wright at his guard, and then Tyler Johnson or Percy Lewis. Percy played okay actually against Cal.
Okay.
So, but you know, Tyler Johnson didn't play great. So maybe by comparison, it still sounds like they're not awesome. But yeah, you'd like to think you don't need Cam in this game, but
right,
we had some struggles, and he's a freshman, and Cam didn't play great. He had the ball that tipped off his hand, and then he kind of got banged up. It's not really his fault, but he would like to probably have a bounce back game. You probably like to have him out there. But I don't know.
I'm sitting his ass until we need him. If I wouldn't want to further injure. I would want him 100% healthy before I put him back out there.
Yeah, especially because it's one of those things he could get knocked on it, another helmet to that thing, and it's going to linger.
If you're Auburn and you need Kim Coleman to beat New Mexico, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You've got some capable wide receivers, more than capable.
Yeah, Keandre Lambert-Smith can certainly carry the load, and and then you've got other guys that you got to figure out how to get the ball to. It'd be nice if Rivaldo would run the right route, catch the ball, block somebody. I'm just he is. Everybody in the preseason was mad that he wasn't getting more love. He's all potential right now, and we got to remember he's raw. He started playing late,
very inconsistent.
But he's just a good looking athlete right now. He's not. There's a lot of things he's not doing great. So
what year is he?
Let's see. Played. I mean, he's at least a junior. I'm trying to think if he was there. I can't remember if he was at FIU for 2 or 3 years. But he started playing so late in high school that he's years behind where he should be.
But does he have another year if he wants it? Let me see. Rivaldo Feather is listed as a senior, but does he have that? I think this is the last year, that COVID year, right? Let's see. He started in 2023 before Auburn. He was he played 2 years at FIU, which would have been 22 and 21.
So his probably is his last year.
Yep. Would appear
He's just
so.
not taking the steps they needed him to at the he played 5. Zach says he played 5 games in COVID. And again, I'm not. This isn't a. But I'm just trying to be transparent. It's not about picking on people. We've talked about Peyton plenty. Go watch the very first play of the game. Very first play of the game was there to be had. Jarquez ends up getting tackled for no gain because Rivaldo goes the wrong way and blocks a guy that the way the play was designed didn't need to be blocked. The linebacker was going to go with the motion one way. They were running the other way. So the linebacker, you didn't even have to block him. He was going to basically take himself out of the play. Rivaldo runs, and instead of running and blocking the DB that ends up making the tackle, he goes in and stands in front of a linebacker and did nothing. And the guy who made the tackle was who he should have gone and blocked. Very first play. And it's there. The 2 other receivers go block the right guy. Jarquez gets tackled for no gain. If Rivaldo goes and blocks that guy, you got 3-on-3, and you got a big game, first play of the game. A lot of that stuff.
I am man, I'm ready to get past this week.
But like I was going to say, what do you learn? New Mexico's not good on defense. If Auburn comes out and looks great and sharp, that's good for their confidence. They do need that. But I don't know, outside of settling things down and maybe regaining some confidence, I don't think there's a thing Auburn can do in this game for me to come out and go,
no.
I think they figured some things out. I can say I think they regained some confidence, and that's good. And maybe Peyton made some plays and feels like he there's a confidence thing that can be regained, but it's New Mexico. You got to go then do it against Arkansas, who's not even great, but at least they're SEC. So I guess all I'm looking for is a little bit of regained confidence, maybe more running the ball, but I don't know that there's a big thing I can take away like, ooh, something clicked here. I don't know if I could say that after this.
Well, so after Alabama A&M, everybody's like, oh. And then after Cal, it was like, so now even after, if Auburn were to beat New Mexico 73-7, you're going, well, it doesn't mean shit. You're not feeling the same as you did after Alabama A&M because of what happened with Cal. It means nothing. It means very little. Like you said, it's going to be more mentally for the players than it will be for anything. It was regaining some confidence, regaining some momentum, heading into SEC play against an Arkansas team that is not going to come in and lay down. You better have it figured out.
They can score points, and they can score points. It's kind of like last year. They blitzed you. We talked about it. They blitzed UMass last year. Laid an egg offensively at Cal, somehow won. came back last year, whipped Sanford's Peyton's best game, threw 6 touchdowns,
Is
beat
it
up
the
on
same as
Sanford.
last year?
I mean, yeah, last year they came back after Cal and beat up on Sanford at home, and then the next week went to A&M and laid another offensive egg. So it's like you're saying they could come out and play good against New Mexico offensively, but it doesn't mean anything because you got an SEC game next week. So it's just you got to do it. You got to play well, but you got to do it next week, starting next week.
Right. Yeah. This weekend should be all about preparing for SEC play, knowing who's going to be your starter at quarterback, feeling good, having that person be confident in who they are and what they're doing. You need to have all those wrinkles ironed out with Rivaldo Fairweather and blocking assignments with Jarquez Hunter and the offensive line rotation if you're going to do that. The defense, not terrible.
No. And that's, didn't play well, played really well. Made adjustments.
Yeah. And that was the biggest thing from Saturday as far as defensively was watching the first half going, hey, man, you might want to pick up that tight end. Hey, man, they were in that play 3 or 4 times, but he just rolls out to the right, dumps it to the tight end. He's gained 8 to 12 yards every time. And the second half, DJ Durkin completely shut that down. I thought the adjustments at halftime from DJ Durkin and that defensive staff was exactly what you expect from an Auburn coaching staff. I thought that was fantastic. I thought the defense in the second half, if nothing else, the adjustments were what you want to see. I thought it was very good. I think who knows what we're talking about right now if Kay and Lee catches the football. Seriously.
And if that's a receiver that dropped a ball wide open on a post route, we'd be talking about it all week. But for some reason, nobody's talking about it. No, it's completely overlooked. I mean, that's a critical play.
Man.
That's a play that has to be made. And it's 7 points on the board.
And I think that ties the game up.
Jarquez Hunter's fumble.
Yeah. I think Kay and Lee, would that have tied the game or would it have put Auburn back to within 7, within 1 score? It would have made it a 1-score game, maybe.
Yeah, it might have been still 21-7 when that
I think it was. I think it would have been a 1-score game, but you're back in the game.
Yeah. With a lot of time left.
And after that, it was like, I think the defense got another stop, and then it was another interception, and then it was Cam got hurt. Did you get? I never got a clear. On the ball, Cam Coleman tiptoed on they called it out of bounds,
and
then they showed the replay on the video board, but you really couldn't tell. But I had people next to me on the Auburn coaching staff wanting to time out or something so they could look at that. Did y'all get a better look at that up in the booth?
I didn't. Okay. And nobody asked him because there's all these other issues, but that would have been there was like 2 plays like that they chose not to review. I didn't get a good look, so I have no clue. I guess we have to assume that they thought he was going to be out, and I guess maybe they're not playing well, so they're like, geez, we better not lose a timeout at this point. But yeah, there's a couple where they didn't review.
All right, I'm done with the Cal game. Listen, last year's Cal game was taxing on me. It was awful. I mean, I was so sick of watching bad football. I was after that Cal game, that was bad football.
Yeah.
And then here we are again a year later, and somehow Auburn won that game last year. No idea how. And here we are again talking about Cal and bad football. I'm done with Cal.
It's brutal. So I would say, what do I want to hear Saturday? I would love to hear post game. Obviously, you want Auburn to win. I would love to hear. And Freeze is sort of reluctant after games. He wants to watch the film, so it might even be Monday. But like whatever. After the game, I want to hear. I want to hear him say, I didn't see a lot of execution errors.
Yeah,
I didn't see a lot of missed blocks. I didn't see a lot of run. That's what I want to hear. Obviously, that should lead to points, and that should lead to good things on offense.
We didn't turn the ball over.
I want to hear, hey, I thought we played clean. I thought guys did their job. I thought maybe bringing the playbook back down helped. I saw guys executing the right play, the right call, the right routes. That's what I want to hear, because there were just so many mistakes in the first one that I want to hear that they played pretty clean football, and we didn't hear about, well,
Yes.
we played good, we had a big play, but still missed some plays here and
Yeah.
there, and still didn't do. I don't want to hear that.
Can't turn the ball over 2 times or 3 times or
Yeah.
whatever it was, you know,
So
whatever.
that's, I guess, maybe that's the most impactful thing I can hear, is from an execution standpoint, from a mental error standpoint, we played clean.
Mhm.
I guess that's the best we can hope for. Keldrick fall. It'd be nice to see another game. Keontae is kind of the only thing on defense that you're like, you're kind of wondering what's up. I guess we'll watch for that. Did he lose his job? Is the hamstring really a thing? I don't know. He was back there returning punts,
Right.
and
Well,
not playing.
he was back there.
Well, all right, yeah, he was back there. It's true. He was back there. So I guess that's kind of the main thing on defense we're looking for. Like, you know, is he still out there? Did maybe he do some things that they didn't love, and they're just unsure? And Antonio Kite plays more at that outside corner position. Everything else off the defense played, I saw some good things from from the guys there. Love Malik Blockton coming on. Boy, they need him to keep getting better. They don't have a lot of guys. I told the board, I said, outside of Keldrick Falk, he's your best defensive lineman right now. True freshman.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So it's like, they need him to keep coming on, and guys stay healthy, and that kind of thing.
That was another thing about the defense. Malik Blockton, that was on the 3rd down. Auburn was going to have him 3 and out, right? Roughing the passer, which was crap.
Terrible call.
Okay, well, what did Auburn's defense do? They turned around and held him again, 3 and out, got the ball back.
Yep. They did their job in the second half, and I thought, literally, I turned to Cole, the possession before Cal scored their second half touchdown, and I turned to Cole and said, Auburn's got to get a 3 and out here. It was like a moment. It felt like Auburn's defense was doing their job, and it was they needed to get this one more stop. They got it. Then the offense didn't do anything. And then Cal scored, and I was like, yeah, you could feel it. It was like Auburn needed a stop. They got it. And then again, when they didn't do anything, they came out, and it felt like the air was let out, and they gave up that long run, and you could almost sense like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, they're out there just hoping the offense will do anything, and they continually didn't. And they give up one play, and that sucks to be a defense, and you're like, all right, we got to shut them out the second half. You know, if we give up one touchdown, it'll probably be the difference. That's a tough place to be if you're the defense. So, all right, what do you think? How do you afraid to ask after last week?
I'm just going to guess. I don't know, man. I want to say somehow Auburn's going to score 40 plus, 42. I've got it 42-17. That's just a guess, man. I don't know. 42-17. Couple touchdowns by New Mexico, field goal. Auburn scores 5 or 6 touchdowns. I think it's going to be I would expect them to shorten this game with the run game, work on the run game, perfecting the run game, still throwing your quarterbacks in there. You're looking at both of those guys. You're wanting to leave that game Saturday night going, all right, we're going to ride. We're going to watch the film, but at first glance, we're going to ride with Peyton. We're going to ride with Hank, whatever. I don't think they're just going to run the football and, grind it out 28-7 or something. I think they're going to have to work on their quarterback play. So I expect some passing. I expect a more balanced attack. They're going to run the football. And 42-17, book it.
Ooh, I'm less confident. I'm going to say, yeah, I think you got to go Auburn. I like 42, 45. New Mexico's defense has not played well. They gave up 61 to Arizona. They gave up 35 to FCS Montana State. So if Auburn's not over 40, I think you got an issue. You got turnovers most likely.
Yeah.
So let's say Auburn 45. But I'll trust Freeze a little bit and say that this team's offensively is a little scary. I know Auburn played pretty well on defense, but there were some issues in the secondary at times. So I'll say New Mexico gets to 21, and I don't think Auburn covers. Like maybe it's 45-21, and they win by 24, not 28. I'd like to not think New Mexico's over 21. And they might have a good athlete, and maybe they got a good, they got some weapons, but you don't need to be giving up 24, 28 to New Mexico, or there's a bunch of other teams on your schedule that are going to score 30 on you, and you're going to have issues. So let's say 45-21 Auburn.
Okay.
If they don't turn it over. So I don't know. But I think you made a good point in the beginning, and we talk about leaning on the run. But if you come out and you do that and you run the ball and you just pound them, if you come away and what if Peyton Thorne goes 6 for 9 and and you run the ball a bunch, did you give, you got to learn something from, you got to have Peyton, you bounce back, you want to toss Hank in there. So it's a weird game where you want to win and all that, but you need some reps for those guys in this game too. So it's kind of a weird one where we want to run the ball, but if you come away and you go, Peyton threw 9 passes, did he get to rep anything? Did he practice anything? Hank was 4 for 6.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I don't know what we learned from those guys in this game. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. All right, 6:30 Saturday night. Hopefully everybody's in a better mood. It's been a long week, man.
Yeah. I have not been in a great mood this week.
Everybody's been in a bad mood. And I get it. It feels like we're years of this. Part of it's Harson's fault. And I've said that over and over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. People are sick of that, and now they're just, all right. Go to session if you're around downtown and go to the game. Go check them out, please, and make sure and tune in Friday at 4:00, 4 to 5. We'll just chat about the game. Zach will be on. We'll try to take some questions. That'll kind of be the deal. We'll try to take as many questions as we can and get people to pop on and just see what we can chat about for an hour. All right, let's get out of here.
That'd be cool, man. Don't forget PrizePicks.com/Auburn Live. Use the promo code Auburn Live to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. Go to sessions and sit there and talk with your buds, talk with Hope, talk with Cole, make some picks.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.